Okay, let me see here. Check my notes. Okay, so starting out, Trish, right before you got on, I was telling them that you were going to start us off with something that you've been learning from Bob's coaching program. So with that being said, I would love to hear from you guys. Who is working their business and running into a block, running into just something that you maybe can't get through, or something that just keeps coming up a lot, or a complaint, or anything like that? Who's got something for me? Go.
Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm running into a couple of gals that are interested, but they just can't afford a regimen right now. So I was thinking about saying, okay, so how about if we just start you on MDA paste and maybe an eye cream? Tell them that's how I got started. I fell in love with the MDA paste. I don't know. I hate to just put them off. I'd rather see if there might be something else they could try for a while.
But I would say, listen, overall,
so I just in particular, I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that. We get people started on products as they can. We know that once they get our products and the quality of our products in their hands, then, sometimes it's a microdermabrasion paste, sometimes it's a lash boost, sometimes it's an eye cream, but we know that they fall in love and they come back. I should ask a better question. Who has something that you believe is holding you back? So we all have goals, we have things, right? And we're not getting there, or we're not getting there as fast as we'd like, or whatever, however you want to frame that one. And it's because of this. Holly, you raised your hand.
One of the problems I think I'm having is I've added a lot of new friends and I'm still trying to get to know them. So I'm having trouble getting to that point was I added them and I do want to offer this opportunity of the products to them, but I don't want it to come across that I just added them to my friends, which I did, but I didn't. And so that kind of like, I get all pumped that I'm going to just do it. And then I back off because I'm like, I don't want to come across aggressive.
So you are a little afraid of maybe immediate judgment, or making the wrong move, or saying the wrong thing. Sounds like judgment.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, let's do it.
I think we could probably say if we Holly, you were with us last night, right? Yeah. Okay, so is it safe to say that you're feeling a little afraid, feeling fear about judgment?
Yes.
Okay, so when you feel that way, how are you showing up?
A lot of times I'm not. Or I show up where I just go and try to build relationships by finding something on their Facebook, which is great. I got to do that, but it's not taking the action. It's not getting me anywhere because it's not really taking the action I need to do to do anything.
So oftentimes not showing up, and then ultimately no action happens, right? Maybe a little bit more friend building, but no popping the question.
Right.
So what if, so when you are looking at your friends and you're like, it's too soon, right? Oh, it's too soon. I want you to tell me, what is the opposite of that story that you're telling yourself? What's the opposite of that story?
Is not taking too long, I guess it would be, or just not doing anything.
So let's say I'm taking too long. I want to continue building this relationship. Gosh, when is it going to be the right time? They're going to think I'm just using them because I want them to buy products, or I want them to join me. I think we all feel those things, don't we? Sometimes, or all the time. So the opposite of that, let's go elaborate more on what the opposite of what I just said would be.
Would be, I guess, thinking I'm offering them an opportunity to either, change their life or change their skin or.
So offering them an opportunity to change their life and change their skin. And what if you went even further and said, I don't know what they're going through. What if they actually need this today? What if they don't need it another week from now? What if they don't need it another month from now? What if they don't need me to continue building this relationship? What if they could even be looking at me and being like, I'm kind of interested, but I'm too scared to ask the question. So I'm just going to wait for her to ask the question. So we went from, I just want to keep building this relationship. It's too soon. I don't know when to ask the question, to the flip side of that, to say, maybe I've already built enough of a relationship. Maybe they're going through something really significant. Maybe they actually need some money. Maybe they're suffering with some terrible acne and they need a solution to their problem. And I have that solution in my hand. Why would I hold out another day? And oh, by the way, like, who cares what people think of us? So if that was, we just made both of those up, right? We made up the negative story. We made up the positive story. We don't know which one is true, but let's assume that the positive green light story is true. How does that make you feel?
Empowered and ready to go, and
Empowered and ready to go. And when you feel empowered and ready to go, how would you show up?
just doing it, just calling them and probably being more positive and sounding less like a commercial when I talk to them.
So
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Qualls, her license plate has always said, since she earned her car from Meridian Fields, it has always said "so excited." And I want you to have that feeling about what you do. I am so excited to talk to you today. I am so excited to invite you to this. I am so excited to tell you about these products. Like, that's a feeling. And you can give that to other people.
I think I learned that from Jackie too, because she's always the one that says, I'm so excited. And so when I'm messaging somebody, I literally say, I am so excited. I mean, can you not help but feel excited when someone says, I'm so excited?
I do too, to the point that my parents actually like semi make fun of me. And when they see me, they're like, I'm so excited to see you. And I'm like, oh, hush.
Mm-hmm. So you would show up more confident. You would show up and actually do the reach out. You would show up and actually ask the question. And we all know, unless we're asking the question, we're really not working our business. Do we still need a relationship build in between there? Of course we do. But if we're not asking the question, we're not moving the needle forward. So what you need to do, Holly, is write this down and put it in front of you. And you need to tell yourself this story every single day before you sit down to, when you sit down to do your reach outs. You have it right in front of you. I have such an incredible opportunity to give people. I really don't need to spend any more time building a relationship. What if this person needs this today? And oh, by the way, the first time we reach out to somebody, that's just the beginning of our relationship. Like, the only bad thing is if you ask the question and then stop talking to them. That's rude. That's rude. Don't do that. So think of it as the beginning. Don't wait on asking the question. If they say no or they don't respond, that's fine. You're going to continue to build that relationship. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good.
That's a really great thought about the non-follow-up. We worry a lot about what we say to people, but what about what we don't say to people? That brings up a really great point that we do need to be thinking about.
Who else has something that they are feeling?
That was my issue that I'm having right now, Trisha, is the the reach outs, like the first reach outs, and then you see people reading it but not responding. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'll give you like a day or two, and then I'll come back to that person that read it, and I'm just like, hey, you're probably just like me, busy. I saw the message, but I just wanted to see if you were interested, or however I would word that, and then I would get the person like read it, and I'm just like, so when do I don't know if there's like a magic number, but when do I like ask again, like, hey, like I don't want to sound like I need you to buy something.
Yeah. So what's the feeling that you get when when they read it and don't respond?
I'm thinking they're at work, or at the grocery store or something. Like they're probably busy doing something, like myself when I get messages. But like usually like the second time I would probably respond. So that's why I'm not sure how I would respond to the other way around.
What do you feel? So the first time you message, they're at the supermarket, they're busy doing something. So the second time that you message and they don't respond, how does that make you feel? Any kind of way?
That they're trying to ignore me.
So you have a feeling that they're ignoring you. And so what then, like, how are you showing up then in your reaching out when you feel like people are ignoring you?
Say that one more time.
How are you showing up to work your business, asking the question of, are you interested in my products? Are you interested in my business? If you feel like people are ignoring you.
Well, I always get excited when I start doing my reach outs and like talk with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't feel comfortable when people don't talk to me. and it's just me talking.
That makes
It's
sense.
not a conversation, it's just me talking.
Yeah. So when, I think probably when someone doesn't, what I can imagine, because I've been doing this a while, is when the people that don't message back, you do feel maybe a little bit like take it a little bit personal. Like,
Yeah.
they're maybe annoyed, or they're not interested. They think what I do is silly, or whatever the case is. Of course, the people that message back, I mean, they give us all the good butterflies, right? I mean, that's good. But the people that don't message us back and read our messages, they make us feel all kinds of feelings. A lot of doubt starts to creep in. You just lack confidence, and, you start questioning yourself even sometimes. And so when we have those feelings, we're probably not showing up very well, right? Or when you do show up, like, are you showing up your full confident self?
Probably not at that second or third reach out, no.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of like, oh, excuse me, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
So
do you feel like it affects your other reach outs at all?
I get fired up when I talk to the people. Like that conversation's going, like I'll bounce back up and I'll try to like go back with that energy, but then I'm just like,
yeah.
So
with those people that don't respond, let's make up, you feel maybe judged, like they're ignoring you. Let's make up an opposite story of that. Make up an opposite positive story of them not responding back to you.
I don't know what you mean.
So let me give you an example. You feel on that second time they read the message and they don't respond, you're like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit in my feels now. I feel like they might be judging me. I feel like they might think I'm in a pyramid scheme, or they might think what I do is silly. They're not interested. They don't even want to be my friend anymore. Like all these things. So what if we made up a different story about them not responding? What if we said, hey, so I don't know, maybe they're like stupid busy right now. Maybe they read the message, while they were doing a million other things. Maybe they are actually kind of interested in what I'm doing, but they're not like fully ready to commit to a conversation yet. They just want to watch me a little bit longer. And what if they're just like, they don't want to tell me no, but they don't want to tell me yes yet. So they're just kind of like sitting on the message. And what if, that's more of a positive story, right? So it's not so much of a like a bash against you. They're just busy. they just want to watch you a little bit longer. They're not really sure if they're interested. So if you told yourself that story every single time somebody didn't respond back after the second message, and I'll get into in a second about what my thoughts are on when you should respond back to them. But what if you told yourself that story? How do you think you would then show up in this person's life?
Probably more confident and patient and understanding.
Yeah, I think so too. So if you showed up more confident, patient, understanding, you would probably, just feel much more, you probably feel much more at peace with the whole sending the messages and not getting a response back. And something that I want to point out too is like, yes, is it nice for people to message back? Of course it is. Sometimes we feel like it's a little bit rude, but like we got to turn that story around, and we have to tell ourselves that it's their interest, not ours. We're going to still show up and love on them and support them as a friend. And when they're ready to have the conversation about Rotating Fields products or business, they'll be there. We'll be there for them, and we'll be able to have that conversation. So, I don't think there's any like rule on necessarily when to follow up. I personally do every 3 months that's what I did in the beginning of my business. I would follow up at about every 3 months. But at the same time, have you guys heard me talk about recently how I've like looked at my friends and I've picked out my hottest, like best prospects? Have you guys heard me talk about that at all?
Is this where you made a different group?
Yeah, my friends list. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you do that? Because I tried to do that and I couldn't find the right place.
You have to do it on your laptop. You cannot do it from the phone.
Okay.
And it's on the left-hand side. You might have to like click on more options or whatever, and it's called Friends List.
Okay.
So I used to like just kind of ask everybody, and now I'm a little bit more particular about who I bring into my business. And the past 2 months, I've like went through my friends and I'm like, who are the people that I would really like to work with? Whether, maybe they're just like really active on social media. Maybe they're just a real networked person, respected, whatever it is that you're looking for. And just because I think they're a dream teamer doesn't mean that they're going to like come in and become level 5 in a month. I mean, that doesn't happen. Okay. So I would like really try to find the people that you really want to work with and build a relationship with them. And like, maybe not ask everybody. I still want you to ask people, maybe they're more product users. Maybe you don't actually want to be like business partners with them. And so find those people, ask the question, create a relationship, ask the question, and then continue to nurture that relationship. If they don't respond, or maybe it's not their time, like those people that are on your like dream team list, they're worth like, staying in the game for them. Does that answer your question, Michelle?
I love this, especially for situations like that, because we make up so many stories in our head with no response or things like that. And, really, if you reached out say you reached out for products to someone and you hit somebody on a day where like they're broke or like it's bad or like you have no idea what's going on in people's life. Our messages about our business opportunity and learning more about the products, that is so low on a lot of people's totem pole. And we are just not that important. We're awfully important to ourselves, but we are just not that important. And so it's follow-ups, genuine follow-ups are with that kind of attitude, with exactly that, what she just turned all of that around to be. That's what we have to go in there and do. That's what makes us different.
Mm-hmm. And I think, mindset and figuring out the stories that we tell ourselves in our head, because let's be real, the majority of the stories we tell ourselves are negative stories all throughout the day. They really are. And so we have to get a hold of that thought and we need to turn it into a positive serving thought. And it's going to take you time. And you're like, if you did that you got to pick out your top things that are like really stopping you from moving forward. What are the top belief things? And you may not even know what they are today. They may not even be in your awareness, but the more you work on it and the more you just like turn whatever negative story you're telling yourself. I don't have, let's say, you know, let me give you an example. I just don't have enough good prospects in my Facebook friends list. Like, I swear like 90% of them are just people that couldn't even afford the products, or maybe they don't even have teeth, or, you know, whatever the case is. Like 90% of my people are just not good prospects. So what if I mean, you're probably not going to show up very good if you think that 90% of your people are not good prospects and that you need to meet more people, but you just made that up. You can't prove that, right? Like, you don't know that that's true. And what if you showed up and you're like, you know what? I might not have 100 good prospects on my friends list, but I bet that I have at least 20. And what if I serve them? And what if I show up for them every day and ask them the question? Like, every thought you have, you can turn it into a positive serving thought, every single one.
I love that.
Yeah.
Dude. Who wants to go next? I love hearing your real things, your real thoughts, and you have no idea who else is struggling with this too. Like, believe it or not, the most positive people in your life, we have negative thoughts too, and everybody has to work through these things.
I have one. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
I really get nervous doing the voice recordings and reaching out that way because, one, I don't like the sound of my own voice on recording, and two, I'm a rambler. So I have been doing that, like following, write it out and read it, and that's been helpful. But I get so nervous that then I just like shut down, and I'm afraid to send them. I also feel like I don't sound excited enough to them when I come across on recording. When in my head, I'm like, there's thousands of people jumping up and down with excitement.
So do you think, we're going to go through this, but do you think you sound excited in a text message?
No.
Okay.
But I can put smiley faces.
So how do you feel then when you feel like you feel like you suck at voice messages, essentially, right?
Right.
So how does that make you feel?
It definitely hurts my, just my work effort. How do I say? Like, I have a hard time moving past, like getting started. When I sit down, I know who I'm reaching out to. I know what I want to say. I've got the language examples in front of me. I know how I'm going to do it. But then I stall out because I get nervous.
So you feel defeated, I suppose. And then when you sit down to work, like, how are you showing up? I think you just answered that. Not really showing up. Probably not doing it, right? And
I still do a couple, but then I'm like second guessing myself the whole time.
so your red light story is that you feel like you feel like you don't like your voice. You feel like you don't sound as excited enough. And that's about it, right? And you ramble. So can you tell me what the opposite of that is?
I guess being short and sweet. I don't know.
So don't like the way you sound. Don't come across as excited enough, and you ramble. So let me tell you what the opposite of that
I
is.
sound boring.
Who are you comparing that to?
You guys, like Sarah, for example.
Okay. So what if you told yourself every single day, I, Julie Mackey, am not a boring person. I speak with excitement. And in fact, these people that I'm talking to, that I'm sending a message to, are actually really excited to hear my voice. And that I can be short and concise.
I like it.
So how does that make you feel?
It feels good. Like I have goosebumps right now just hearing you say it.
And so how would you show up if you felt that way about yourself?
Better and more excited.
I bet that excitement would like actually come through.
Yep.
So we just made both of those up, right? We made both of those up. There's no truth in either of those. So if you tell yourself that positive serving story every single day, I, Julie, am a positive, excited, not boring person, and the people that I'm messaging are actually like really happy to hear my message.
Like,
And
I am going to make their day with my voice.
yeah. And comparison is the thief of joy. And I'm going to show up every day and get my voice out there.
And like hundreds of people have ignored my voice. Okay. So there you go. Just hundreds, multiple times.
Your people don't want you to show up as Sarah or Trisha. Your people want you to show up as Julie.
Yep.
So it sounds like you'll write that down and put that wherever you work.
Let's do one more.
I'll go. So I am held back for this, some of the same reasons Julie is. I don't like to do voice messages. I don't like to put my face on or on social media. Don't like to go live. All those things. The things that I need to do to put myself out there to make people know me on a different level other than just Rodanna Field stuff I put out there or pictures of my kids or other things like that. So I know that, and that holds me back.
So you feel like you're nervous, scared to put yourself out there, to like put photos, do live videos, and you do show up with like photos of your kids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So how does all of this make you feel when you think those things?
So I don't do it because I fear of judgment, fear of not doing it well enough. What people will think of me. Those
And
things.
then when you are feeling defeated, is that a good word? Or judged maybe? Or fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're feeling fearful, what actions do you take?
None.
And then, so the things that you're feeling right now, and then obviously no action means no results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me the opposite of what you're feeling.
So I guess the other piece of it is I don't feel like people care about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I put it out there? Nobody cares about that that kind of feeling. So the opposite is that people do want to know what I'm up to and what I'm doing and care about me. And
so did I hear a little bit of like you maybe like a little lack of self-worth? Okay.
Yeah.
So the opposite of what you're afraid of going live. People don't care what I have to say or what I'm doing. And nobody wants to see a photo of me. Like nobody wants to see that. So the opposite of that would be like, actually, my friends, my Facebook friends, they are my Facebook friends for a reason. And they actually do care what I'm doing. They actually do want to see my face. They're my friends. And they actually do want to see like what I'm doing and want to see a live video of me. So I think that let me digress a little bit though. So when we think about the hold on a second, I had a thought and I lost it. Oh, when we think about the self-worth part, I mean, tell me more about that. Like, how do you feel about that?
I guess just like that, what I'm doing again is not important to other people. Like that it's not either, again, like it's I'm not good enough. It's not interesting enough. It's not done well enough. It's all of the not enoughs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What about like the other person that has like a, photography business that they're like putting themselves out there like, man, they got a business to run. And do you look at them like, why are they doing that? Like, does anybody care about that?
No.
Like, do you look at them like that? Or anybody else that has a business that is trying to make money for their family or, do something for themselves?
No.
I don't think we do. So what if you told yourself, and this may come down to, we have to think about belief also, like belief in our business, belief in who we are as a person, which was what we're talking about right now, and the belief in our products. There's a lot of stigma around multi-level marketing, network marketing, whatever you want to call it. And so we have to like constantly combat that in our minds. And so that could be, I know that's one of mine that I always have to work on, because I feel like my colleagues are like these medical professionals, physicians, and like, oh, what is this multi-level marketing skincare thing that Trisha's doing? Mm-hmm. And so I constantly have to combat that. And so I think for you, I mean, to be able to show up, I think the story that you have to tell yourself is that I have something incredible that I need to share with people. As long as you need to believe that. You 100% need to believe it. And even though you don't believe it today, if you continue to tell yourself for 30 days that you have something so incredible, you need to share this, I promise you at day 30, you'd probably believe it. Just because you told yourself that so many times. And so many times you have these negative thoughts that are talking in your head that have told you otherwise. So we have to like unlearn all the things that we have thought. I have to share this with somebody. I know that there is somebody out there that is looking for something like this. I know there is somebody out there that needs help with their skin. And if you tell yourself that every single day, before you are sitting down to do your reach outs, or before you are sitting down to do your live video, before you're sitting down to, post a photo of yourself. And by the way, I mean, people need to know, like, and trust you to buy from you, and they need to see your face and what you're doing. And something that I have really put into practice, I was the same way. I was like comparing myself to all these other people that look so good at what they're doing. And I never look good. I always look like this because this is just real life. And so I focused on putting out into the world B- work, and I stopped waiting for A+ work. And the minute that I did that, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be good enough to get out there, right? But it does not have to be A+ work, because if I waited for that, I'd be waiting forever. And I'd have to get my hair done and whatever. It's not going to happen. And so just really focusing on like B- work, you just got to get it out.
And do we really think that the stuff we put on social media, none of us, correct me if I'm wrong, have like a background in social media marketing, correct? Thank you. Do we really think that people are reading our posts that intently? Like, do we really think that they're like stopping their scroll on our posts to look at our picture? Yeah. And like, no, we have to use our social media posts to get through to them, to say something that they might connect with. Doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't matter that much. Allison, yeah. I think you really need to think as well how many people you are hurting and how many people you are holding back by not becoming successful yourself. And I know you, and I know that you would never want to do that. But by not becoming successful yourself, not helping people yourself, then you're holding back a ton of people that way.
And the more that you work on this, I have to share this. I know there are people out there that need this. I can't wait like another day. The more you tell yourself this, the more confident you'll show up.
Yeah.
And I there's people that I reach out to now that are like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Like, I have been considering something like this for a while, and you just made my day." You have those people too. I'm not the only one that has those people. You do too. But you have to ask them the question, and they have to know, like, trust you.
Thanks.
I lied. I want to do one more. I think Jody was getting ready. Do you have time, Trish, to do?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I think Jody was popping on here when Allison did last time too.
Okay, so what was the original question? Like, what holds you back?
Yeah, pretty much.
that?
What are some of these what are some of your beliefs that are going on in your head?
Okay, so I'm feeling sassy, so I'll just say it. Okay, so I'm just kind of, well, I'm not kind of. I feel like I've cycled through a lot of different things since I started in February. Like, I definitely have gone through, I'm afraid to do videos. I'm afraid to reach out to people. I'm afraid to ask them about the business. And I by no means have mastered those things, but I would say the majority of the time, day in, day out, I'm not afraid of those things anymore. Like, I just do them. And I'm kind of at a point right now where I am just like, I just feel I don't know. I just don't feel like it's going to happen. I'm over it. Like, I feel like I've put so much effort into it.
Like, what's going to happen?
Like okay, so I'm very black and white. Okay, I'll just say that. So I got into this, like, I hadn't used the products, like, I got into this to make money, and I have made money, and I love the money that I've made, and I've gotten so much more from this business than just money, like than what I wanted, you know, like, I've gotten a whole lot more from it, and I love that. But like, I still want money. So like, I just feel like I'm kind of at a crossroads at this point of like, I need to take off and get business partners, or I need to like do something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, well, I'm a realtor too. So
yeah.
I'm like, do I need to put more time in real estate, or, you know, and I'm just, again, I'm just being black and white. I have a lot of feelings about all these things, but I know we don't have time for that.
So can I say that you are frustrated by your lack of recruiting?
Yes.
Frustrated by the lack of recruiting. Okay.
Well, and yes, and I also know I'm frustrated about that. And of course, I also know that I haven't done everything that I need to do. And the way that my pattern works is that when I get like overwhelmed or frustrated at something, it just pushes me into like inaction, and then I just stop, you know, like I just kind of stop for the moment, and I'm like, screw it.
So why do you think that you haven't recruited?
I probably have not asked enough people, and every single person that I've asked has said no. So it's just like, you know.
Okay, so feeling some defeat and fear around asking the question because so many people have said no.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you had some people join?
No.
Okay. So feeling defeat and fear around asking the question. So when a lot of people say no to us, it makes us feel that way. And so when you feel even more fear and defeat, how do you then show up to work your business when you do?
when I do show up to work my business,
Mhm.
when I feel that like fear and defeat, I will just pivot to like selling and trying to get a PC or sell just to selling, which and it's not every day, but I'm so much more comfortable with that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I can, yeah.
So you pretty much then divert from asking anymore.
Right.
You don't do
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
as you can see, that's probably well, then what action happens when we don't actually ask the question about if they're interested in the business? What happens there?
Yeah, nothing. Failure. No business partners.
No business partners. So then that I can see how that would be a domino, just a vicious
Right.
circle of no business partners. And then when I do ask, I get a no. And then I actually, when I show up to work and then I don't ask the question anymore because I'm tired of hearing no's, I feel fear and I feel defeat. And it's just like a vicious circle. So what if we, so is there any story that you tell yourself around why people say no or why you think they say no?
This is gonna sound kind of arrogant, but honestly, I'm just like, I think I would be great to work with. And I get a little like, I just need that one person to say yes, and I'm sure I have that, like, I'm sure it, like,
So you
I
take it
guess.
personal. You take it personal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you take it personal and you're like, why wouldn't they want to work with me? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a catch. Um, so when you take it personal, and then obviously that has more fear and defeat when you go to ask more people, because if they say no, I'm going to take it personal again. So
Right.
what if we make up a positive story about what you could tell yourself when you are asking people about the business? Right now, what you have is, I feel like I'm a really good person to work with, but like nobody's coming, they're not really responding to my
Mhm.
requests, and I feel defeated. I feel like a little bit of rejection. So what is a
Mhm.
positive story that you could tell yourself?
Like a positive story in the sense of like, if someone told me no, a positive spin on that.
Yeah.
Um, well, I guess on the simplest level, what I say about a lot of things is it just wasn't supposed to be, and okay, I'll just move on.
Yeah.
I'm
I
curious about
obviously
your
don't.
follow-up. We were talking about continuing the conversation earlier. I'm curious about the follow-up, because I think with some people, that story is, it's just not their time. Like there's a spin. It's just not their time
Mhm.
right now.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
any other things that you could say like that. So then
Yeah.
maybe later is their time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, and I listened to, I can't remember, I want to say it was Adrienne Watley. She was very encouraging just about, I think, what is it? It takes 8 times or 8 touches, or
Yeah.
it just all feels like, I don't know, I guess I just feel tired about it. Like it just I get overwhelmed about stuff.
So I want to say something here, because I am suffering from this also, and it's really like been brought into my awareness. So is there something for you guys that, is it a monetary amount? Is it a level that you'll get to that when you get there, will you have this, oh, I made it? Is there something? Anybody? Like, does anybody have that thought?
Mhm.
Like, because what are you gauging your success on here?
Well, for me, like I, for those of you that don't know, I stay home and homeschool my kids, and my husband works. And like when I started in this business, we started looking for other income options. I mean, he said, it'd be great if you could get to a point where you're making $2,000 a month, and so that's always been in my mind. And I thought I would have been there by now. And I'm so, I'm disappointed that I'm not. And then in starting the business too, like in getting into the business, the other thing for me is like, if I'm going to continue pursuing this, like I want to get to level 5, like at least, at this.
I want to tell you guys something. So I feel like for a lot of us here, there's nothing that you're going to get to. Yes. Do you have a goal of a monetary amount that you'd like to make monthly? Sure. But every single one of you are successful right now. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to make you more successful. Do you realize that you are more successful than probably 98% of the world because you decided to join a network marketing business that the majority of the people can't even do because they're too afraid to do it? Like, do you realize that? You are successful right now. It's not going to be any level that you're going to get to. It's not going to be any monetary amount. Yes, do we do this for the money? Of course we do. But if you can think about your success right this minute, like it's right now. You're living in it. You need to live in it. You're not going to have this incredible feeling when you get there. So off my soapbox. But Jody, do you realize that your lack of success and your lack of team building is your fault?
Yes, I totally do.
Good. Because you are in a vicious cycle of I'm not asking enough people because the ones I've asked, they've told me no. I take it personal because this would be fun to do this together. And so I've just focused on, bringing in customers, which is much more comfortable. And there's probably lots of other things that go along with bringing on new teammates, like onboarding them. Gosh, now it's my job to make them successful. Crap, I don't want that on my shoulders. And that's false, by the way, guys. But everybody on this call right now, if we're not where we want to be in our business, it's because of the thoughts in our mind. It's because of what's going on in between our ears, the red light stories that we tell ourselves every single day. That's why we're not where we want to be. And you, all of you, have the power to turn it around. All you have to do is tell yourself a green light story. For you, for example, Jody, when you sit down to work, I mean, it's almost the same like as everybody else. I have to share this opportunity with other people. It's been so incredible for me. I've gotten way more than like money. I've gotten friendship, community. Like I have to share this. And just going into your day with that mindset of like, who can I serve? I know you have a servant heart. I mean, I know that. And so not like being in our head about like taking it personal, because it's not like, if somebody doesn't want our Rodan and Fields opportunity, maybe it's just not the right time. It's not personal. It's not us, and just telling yourself that every single day to get to where you want to be, because you're right. I mean, why stick with something that's not bringing you the money that you want? But at the same time, recognizing that we are where we are because of our own activity. You can do it. You can do it.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something about level 5. We used to say something called find your 8 and duplicate. That's what I used to hear all the time. Find your 8 and duplicate. Find your 8 and duplicate. And I don't really know what's happened along the way to get it, to get it muddy. But it is actually that simple. Level 5 isn't a holy grail. You have unlocked the depth of our pay plan with it, the depth of our pay plan with it. Nobody comes and sprinkles you with anything when it happens. You find 8 human beings that think that this is a good idea too, to make a few extra $100 with, if that's their thing, right? There's a few of us who want to make a lot of money with it, right? But typically you're going to find some people that want to make a few extra $100 with it. You need to find 8 people in the sea of human beings that are in this world. And whether you have a small network or a big network, it doesn't matter. You're overcomplicating it. It's not that difficult. I say that, I've been there. I've actually done, I've done it. Then I've had to replace some because some will stay and some will not. Okay? I say the concept is not that difficult. And doing it, if that's what you want, if that's like your first goal, and I think it's a great goal. I honestly think everybody should go for it. Why not? Like, why not? You just need to be asking people like your hair is on fire and you have gold in your hands. If they want to look and learn about this opportunity, telling them, you would love what I do. I have got to tell you about this. That's it. And I go back to, having a sheet of paper at a whiteboard forever and ever and ever. And what I've done on that whiteboard is draw circles with people's names in it. And then I'll get to a certain place and I erase that and I draw 8 new circles and I'm putting new names in it. And if that works for you, just get a piece of paper and do 8 lines or 8 circles or whatever and get human bodies in that. Plug them into the team resources, the team systems, because it's not up to you. Because Jody, do you think it's my fault that you haven't hit level 5 yet? Great. So it's not your fault. Whatever the people come in with you, it's not your fault or your success, whatever happens with them. It's only up to you to go find 8 human bodies that think this is a pretty good idea. Get them started. And I think that, I don't think, I know good and well, because we're all sitting here talking about this kind of stuff. It's overcomplicated. It's that simple. It's fear. It's whatever reasons that we all have, what all of these reasons that we've talked about. Because the simplicity is that's actually all you have to do. Go find them. That's it. And don't stop till you do.
None of you guys are going to be different people tomorrow. I mean, you're not just going to like wake up and be like, oh my God, I can ask everybody the question, because it's not how it works. You have your list, you sit down at your computer, the thoughts start coming, you're looking at their profile, you're like, oh, it's too early, it's not time to reach out, or whatever your thought is. And that is the thought that you need to combat every single time until you no longer believe that thought and you have unlearned, and now you're training yourself of, I have to share this. I can't wait another day.
Jody, something you said, I typed it in the comments, but it probably didn't seem relevant at the time, but you had said that it's not natural to reach out to people about the business because they tell you no. And I asked, have more people told you no about the business or the products? I don't even need to know the answer, but I can guarantee it's products. But we still continue to ask people about the products. Like, we get way more no's about the products than the business. But because we by sheer numbers, we talk to way more people. And so if you flipped it, what if you just started talking to way more people about the business? What if you got way more business no's? Because there'd probably be a couple yeses in there, just like the products. But it's hard though, because you're comfortable with the products and you've done it. I get it. I'm more comfortable with the products. I don't know. Both conversations are exciting. The products excite me. The business excites me. But like, it's because of sheer numbers. And I don't know. I thought I would be level 5 a long time ago. But then, I have to think like, am I doing anything different to get to level 5? No. I'm just still talking to the same amount of people, just hoping that things kind of turned around for me. But like, it doesn't. Like, you have to do a mindset change. You have to ask a lot of people, because it's not going to be right for a lot of people. And it's not going to be right the first time you ask. It might take a lot of tries before they end up joining. I mean, they're planting seeds. Gardening consultants is not an overnight thing. Sometimes it is, but like a lot of times it's not. And I think you just have to change your mindset to not be upset by those first few no's, or the first 10 or 20 or 30 no's, but to really, like, the yeses are so good. Like, you can live on the high of a yes, like, and not let the lows of the no's drag you down. So I think you just have to change your mindset on like why you're reaching out.
Three things have told myself from the beginning that every single time somebody comes with something, I can always bring it around to this. Know that giving up is not an option. Don't be attached to the outcome of anything, and say less to more people. All you're trying to do is see if they want a sip of your water. Like, they might not be thirsty, but if they want a sip, that's your chance to give them a little bit of information. They may not want to drink your whole glass of water, but you just say less to more people. Hey, I just wanted to ask you, are you interested in learning about this? I think you'd love it. You're not like going into a long spiel of any sort. You're just like moving along, seeing who's interested in what you're doing.
We need to wrap it up because we have book club next. Trish, thank you so much for your time again with this. I will tell you, we'll end with this. A couple of notes on month end, things that you need to be doing right now. Let's start with something that you don't need to be doing. You do not need to be spending the next few days of the next few days and the last days of the month working on your redefine list. Nope. We worked on that a little bit last weekend during convention. We got all excited. We made our list there. We can't sell any redefine until Sunday. That should not be on your to-do list over the next few days at all. You're on the top of your list is if you have not gotten your products, and if your direct team members have not gotten your new products, you need to get your products. You need to get your products. Okay? We own a business for skincare. We have a huge product release. You need that on your face. Okay. So sharing the $75 on social, post, share, sell, sharing it on social, following up. You need to get your list, and you need to be following up with everybody that you know. And you have the most natural reason ever to follow up. I put it on the team page last night. We're having a recruiting event on Thursday night. You invite, we will do the rest. Okay. We're going to be doing debunking the myths surrounding it and unmasking your potential thing. It's going to be a panel just like we've done before. I'm super excited about it. You each and everybody that's not here are challenged to bring 3 human bodies with you. Okay? That's it. Just get 3 people to come. You can buy Starbucks cards, tell them you'll get them a virtual coffee or whatever if they'll meet you there. And that's another thing Jackie used to tell me. When corporate used to come to Nashville, she said, one, you better not miss one. I better see you there. I was like, okay, that's an hour and a half away from me. Okay, I didn't miss one because she said not to. And then she said, by the way, don't ever come alone. And I was like, okay. One time I brought my son. I'm not kidding. Okay. Thursday, if you can. If you cannot, like legit cannot, like don't BS yourself, okay? If you legit cannot, your guests can still come, and come with a goal of 3 people, okay? Crystal clear? Great. Also tell your teams, make sure that they know about that, okay? And we are gonna have 2 power hours this week. I know it's not the most convenient time, but the only time I have to do one tomorrow is in the afternoon. I'll put it up on the team page. It's going to be about 2:30 Central Time. Sorry, it's the only time I can do one. I will record it. And then we were going to do another one Wednesday? Thursday. I'll put the other one up. I can't remember. I'll put it on my calendar.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, please.
So your mindset is what is going to win every single time, but we can't forget about like looking at the processes that we're using also. Like have a mentor look at your message you're sending out. Have a mentor look at like what the processes you move people through to get business partners. Like don't forget about that also.
Absolutely. Okay. Tonight was great. Thanks, guys. I'm recording it, and so if you have team members that you want to see this, then I'll have it up on the team page later tonight, okay?